do, now we're into the HQ17, is I like to start at the front because that's the part that everybody sees first. And it's the part, I think, that really grabs a lot of people's attention. Now again, if you look, you're noticing there's a lot of downward and reverse sloping action when it comes to the front area of our campers. And that design is done on purpose, so that way it acts as a rock guard. So any rocks that are kicked up are deflected downwards or deflected away along the sides of the unit. So that way you're not striking purposely on other surfaces. Now, the bottom half of the unit, the black half, this is a aluminum diamond plate utilizing a European cut finish, not an American cut finish. And then the upper half, the silver area, this is an aluminum composite, like always as we use. So you have a sheet of aluminum, a sheet of composite material, and then another sheet of aluminum. So that way we have our strength, we have our rigidity, but we also have our lightweight capabilities as well. Now, one of the other features that we see here on the front, up towards the top, is gonna be a floodlight right up here. So we have our marker lights, and then we have our floodlights, our LED, really bright floodlights. And we have those lights all the way around. We have them on the front, we have them on the sides, and we also have another one on the rear as well. Now, as we continue on with the front, on the lower half of the front, we have two compartment doors. Now, if you've seen these units before, you would have noticed that there was a key or a lock with these cabinets. Well, for safety reasons, because this is a propane cabinet, we need to have this cabinet available for the fire department to have access to it. So that way, if there is an issue with a fire or a gas leak, they can still access it without having to worry about the lock on the front. Now, some other things that we did with this compartment, we've also added more ventilation. So that way, if there is any kind of a leak or something, we can also vent out any of the excess gases that are leaking out. The other side, the other compartment to the side of that is also still our storage compartment for our 5-gallon jerry cans. So you can put in either 5 gallons or actually 10 extra gallons of water or of gasoline or fuel, whatever fuel you may need, as well as having extra room for storage. So continuing here with the very front of our drawbar, the front of our unit, we still have our same items. We have our heavy duty jockey wheel. This is an HQ17. Now the 750 stands for 750 kilograms, which is about 1,680 pounds, I believe was the number. And so this is gonna be our jockey wheel. Now, one quick note about our jockey wheel, and so I'm gonna have the camera follow me here. And if you look down, now you can't actually see it because it is covered up, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna raise up the unit here really quickly, so that way you can see there is a line of demarcation to show the safety area. There is a line that's going to be a safety area. So you should never roll the unit if this is raised up above it. Otherwise, what happens is the leg will kick out, resulting in a failure, and that's not going to be covered under warranty because that's a user error. So just something to note if you're dealing with the jockey wheels. Now, continuing with the front end also, we have, as always, our mechanical handbrake. So you should still be utilizing a wheel chock, but you have a handbrake. So if you're disconnecting very quickly, set your handbrake, pull your vehicle away, get all disconnected, drop some chocks once you're set up. We also have two cables here on the front. One is obviously your 7-pin, so that way you hook it into your vehicle. That's gonna be running your lights, running your signals, all that kind of fun stuff. And as always, we have our Anderson plug, our 50 amp Anderson plug. And so that would plug into, if you did modify your vehicle to have an Anderson plug so you can charge off your vehicle, or if you did buy a solar panel, a portable solar panel that we sell, and that has the Anderson plug so you can plug into that as well. So that way you're charging your battery. Now, lastly, on the front end here, we have obviously our poly block. And so this is going to allow us our adjustment for our up and down. This has a full 360-degree rotation. So that way you have your twisting and torques, you got your ups and downs for your valleys, and then the connection to the front is going to give you your turns for your vehicle. And then as always, we have our heavy duty chains, and we have a different connection with the shackle here, where instead of welding it to the frame, now we're including it, we're putting it through here like this. And then as you see this cable right here, this cable runs to this box, and then this is gonna be essentially your emergency brake for your trailer. It's a breakaway cable. So if the trailer breaks away, the chains fell, this is what's gonna pull the brakes on the trailer so that way it doesn't keep rolling. That way the brakes will stop, they'll set, and that way it won't roll off down the road somewhere else in cases of an emergency. All right, so as we come around the corner to the entry side, which would also be the passenger side of your vehicle, we have a couple of compartments. Now the first compartment is gonna be your storage compartment, your passenger storage. And so you can see how it passes through to the other side over there. And then we also have, if you notice right here, there's also a level that's also been introduced or included in there. So that way, when you're trying to level your unit, you have that there, but this is gonna pass through to the other side. And we also have a breaker box on the other side. Now, as we go along here to the next cabinet, if you look down too, you also see, as usual, our red bars, our rock guards to help protect that delicate edge of your unit. You know, you see so many trailers, campers, the edges of their units are just tore up from running into whatever, running into curbs as they're going out of a deep or a steep driveway or something. This isn't gonna be there for the driveways. Obviously, they're more designed for rocks and stuff like that to help protect you. The second cabinet here, this is gonna be where your pull-out kitchen is. Now, one of the features that they have changed, because again, this is a electric start burner. It's got a 3-burner stove, electric start. Now, the plug for the electric start used to be located exteriorly. If you have an older unit, you probably know this. But on the newer units, we've moved that plug inside. So now it's here located inside. It's protected from the elements. It's not on the outside. So now we don't have any openings. We don't have any extra holes on the outside to put that there. But here is your, as always, our nice big pull-out kitchen. All right, so now that we've talked a little bit about the kitchen, kind of showed where it is, and talked about the plug, now I'm gonna show you how it pulls out and how it deploys. So very simply, you have a black tab right here, and I think sometimes they come in red, but either way, there's a tab right here. Be careful not to pinch your fingers, but you're gonna push inwards on your tab, and that releases it from the clip, and it slides out. Now, there is a leg, a support leg that will come with it that will go underneath, so you would want to put out your support leg. Now, on the prep table, there are 2 support legs for the prep table. So when you open them, they're on a hinge and they're gonna come out. Make sure that your support legs are up and down. They're perpendicular, okay? You don't wanna be having them cocked out to the side over here or inwards. Make sure it's supported out like this. And so this is a nice big prep table. Prepare your food, do what you wanna do with it. Or if you take a couple of stools, get a couple of taller bar stools, and you can use this table as an eating area as well. So that way you can continue eating outside or enjoying the outdoor environment without going inside or maybe sitting in like a small low to the ground beach chair, something like that. So you have a couple different options of what you can do with this. Now for the sink, you have your faucet, and the faucet very simply raises it up or down. Make sure when you're putting the kitchen away, you have it in the down position. Otherwise, you're gonna hit this, you're gonna bend this and break it. All right, now the sink itself, the sink utilizes a gravity drain. So in other words, it's not tapped into your gray tank. So what you need to do, on the back side, actually underneath, there is an opening. And so you pull out, there's a hose, a drain tube that pulls down. You drop a bucket down there, you catch your gray water, and then you dispose of your gray water accordingly. Now you also have, for as part of your sink area, you have kind of this wash basin area, set your dirty dishes, whatever, before you bring them over. And then here in the far end, our 3-burner stove. So you have this lid, the lid opens up. Do not cook with the lid closed. Make sure the lid is open. You have your 3-burner stove, you have your controllers here. In order to get the fuel out, the propane out, you have to push these in. So you turn it on and you push it in, so that way you're feeding or you're getting the propane up to this area. And then this is your electric start. Now the electric start isn't working right now because I don't have my plug plugged in underneath here, like I pointed out just a minute ago. And the battery's not on. I take it back, the battery is on. So make sure, in order for this to work, your batteries are on, which if you're camping, they're probably gonna be on anyway. There's also a utility drawer for, you know, your cooking utensils, your eating utensils, whatever it may be. There's a storage drawer, and within the storage drawer is actually the water hose. So the water hose, what you're gonna do is you're gonna plug in the water hose here to the front of the kitchen. Make sure you plug into the dry side first, because if you plug into your unit first, you're gonna start shooting water everywhere. So you plug into the kitchen, and then underneath here, you have two connections. You have a water connection and you have a gas line connection. So the gas line connection, if I open it up the front here, I can show you, here's your gas line. So the gas line also will pull out from underneath, come around and plug in. So now you have your water connections, you have your gas connection, you have your electricity connection, all of your connections right here to use with your kitchen. So that's the general use of our outdoor kitchen. So I'm going to show you very quickly how to put it away. Now, one of the things that I did forget to mention is there's actually one more prep table area over here as well. This just slides out, slides back in, super easy. But in order to put the kitchen away, all you're going to simply do, take your prep table, make sure it's clean. You don't want to put it away dirty. Fold that back over, make sure your support legs are down. And remember, very importantly, make sure your faucet is pushed down, okay? Then all you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your handle here, push this back in till it locks. I like to give it a little tug just to make sure it's locked in place. Push the handle down there, close it up, lock it up, and on down the road you go. So as we continue on down, we have our step. We have a step here for obviously getting in and out. We have a vent on the door. This is a vent, so that way it allows air to flow through. As we come up here, we have our outdoor table. Now they call it a prep table. It can be used as a utility table. They have drink holders here. So it's kind of whatever you want it to be. You know, I still say you can bring, you know, I've seen people camping with crock pots. Set your crock pot here and have your dinner cooking while you're out doing whatever it is you're doing with your camping. There's a couple outdoor plugs. You have your GFCI plug right here, 110 volts. And then you have a 12 volt lighter plug out here as well. So, and then as you look up, if you continue looking up, we have an exterior speaker. There's two exterior speakers. So that way you can turn on the radio, you can enjoy some music while you're sitting outside. And as long as you're up there, you can also see the awning that can roll out as well. So we have our awnings, and just above that, we even see an exterior antenna for our radio. So we have our radio antenna, we have our plugs, we got all our stuff. As we're moving along, we got some vents. This is our vent for your batteries. Again, more bars, we have mud flaps. As we continue around the rear, we're gonna take a look, and we have spare tires. And again, we have two full-size spare tires. So these are two 65, 75, 16-inch tires. And as you look up, one of the coolest features I like is the dual windows. So each bunk bed is gonna have their own window. And I just love how it all kind of flows together with the windows and the Black Series and HQ. It's a great look to it. I love this thing. And then if you look up a little bit higher, you even have, again, your floodlights. You got that bar light up there flooded out. Now, as you come down, if you come down just a little bit and you look underneath here, you see two tanks. That's gonna be our black and our gray tank, 26 and 26 for our black and gray. And as you can see, what we've also been doing for convenience, we've been making a single connection for your discharge. So now when you're going to dump, instead of having to hook it into your black tank or your gray tank individually, now you have one discharge for your black and your gray tanks. And you can see how the pipes are wrapped as well for protection. So continuing here on the rear, one last thing to point out is our recovery shackles. We have our recovery shackles. That way, if you do end up getting stuck or caught up somewhere, instead of attaching to your frame, you can attach to your recovery shackles to help get pulled out of an area. Now, as we come around the corner, and obviously you can see down here, we have our support legs, right? So our rear support legs, we got 4 of them all the way around. And then as you come up just a little bit, you have your rock guard. And then a little bit more, you have black water tank. You see this one that says black water tank. Now what this is for is when you are dumping your tanks, you're dumping your sewer tank, you take your hose. Remember, this is gonna be a black water hose, not your drinking water hose. You don't ever wanna have the hose that you're using for your drinking water to be used as a hose for flushing out your black tank. That's why usually if you go to dump stations, they have a secondary hose that's there. Use that one to fill this tank. Do not utilize your drinking water hose, okay? You don't want to get bacteria into that. So you're gonna fill up this tank, you're gonna dump your sewer, close it back off, let it fill up a little bit, dump your sewer until you get a clean tank coming out. So that's gonna be your black tank flush. As we're coming along here, we're coming along. We have our vent. This is our vent for our refrigerator. We have another 12-volt plug back here. And again, I still say, if you can find a pump, a 12-volt pump with a hose on it, and you're out boondocking, you run into an area, you find a stream, you find a water source, or even if you have your water buckets, you drop that hose in your water buckets, flip on your 12-volt pump, and then you can put the other end of your hose right here into your either general water tank or your drinking water tank. And again, as always, our HQ models have 2 separate water tanks. They're not interconnected in any way. So there's 2 water pumps, 2 water tanks. The general water tank is a 50-gallon general water tank. That's going to be your showers, it's going to be your toilet, it's going to be your sinks with your faucets. Then you have a 16-gallon drinking water tank. That's going to be a separate own tank with its own pump, and it's going to work off the water spigot. There's an extra little water spigot, a little valve that's on your kitchen sink area. You flip that on, the water is drawn up, goes through a triple filtration system. There's a 3 cartridge system the water will run through. It's filtered, that way you're drinking filtered water, not water with bacteria or whatever it is. It is filtered water, and so that way it's going to go through your system, and that way you have clean water. So even if you run out of general water, you should still have some drinking water to be able to use. Now, one of the other features that you probably already saw when I was pointing out the drinking water and general water is this third connection, this white cap that says City Water Connection. The newest models, the newest 2020 models are now coming due to your requests with a city water connection. So if you do go to an RV park, you're not out boondocking, you're at an RV park, you get your drinking water hose, which I already mentioned, you plug it in here, you plug it into the water spigot that's there at the RV park, or if you're at home in your driveway, whatever you're doing, this is your water connection. So that way you are bypassing your water pump. So that way all of the water is going to be coming in, your sink water, your all that water is going to be coming in through here instead of having to use a pump and fill up your tanks and stuff. As we come up a little bit from that, we have, I already pre-unlocked this, our exterior shower. So we have an exterior hot, cold shower. If you want to come out here, rinse off, whatever you want to do, you have a shower to do that. And as we travel up a little bit higher, again, we have another exterior floodlight that's out here as well. As we travel, we keep moving along. We have our vent. This is our heater vent. And we have that 16,000 BTU heater that's inside, underneath the bed, inside the unit. And then here's our hot water tank. We have a 6-gallon hot water tank utilized or run by propane. We have a 30-amp plug. Okay, so that would be where that would be connection. And then this is the back side of our pass-through storage. This is where you can also find that breaker box here on the back side of the unit. So that pretty much covers all of our exterior stuff, other than maybe our tires or suspension. Obviously, we do have our suspension, but that pretty much covers everything. We're gonna go inside now and take a look. So again, as always, just like all of our Black Series models, if you're looking underneath, you can see our standard Black Series suspension. You have the independent swing arms, dual shock absorbers on each arm, limiting chains, heavy duty springs. That's going to give this unit the smoothest ride, so that way we're causing the least amount of damage to it as you are off on those boondocking roads. So here we are at the entrance door to our HQ17, and right next to our door we have a solar sensor. And so there's a light, so this is a solar panel. It obviously captures the sunlight during the day. And then in the evening hours, these lights, they come on with an ambient light, a less bright light. But then you have a motion sensor right here. And so when you get closer, the motion sensor picks up the motion and turns on a much brighter light to help illuminate your entryway to your unit. So as we get to our unit, we have a handle to help ourselves up into the door. And so we actually will open up the door here. Now, I want to show you the screens on our units. And we do have unique screens. Here you can see you have our typical screen material. We have our window shades here. Now to release and open up our screen, there's a little lever right here. So you want to lift up that lever and it separates the screen from our door. So I'm just going to prop open this door real quick so that way I don't have to worry about it. And so there's a little lever here, there's a little bar right here, and that swings out of the way and kind of locks in place. Now again, as you notice, if you notice here, now there's an opening because the lock and the handle are part of the screen. Now one of the really nice features for our units is most trailers, they will connect and attach in one spot, which if you look up here, if I pull on this, has a weak spot here at the top, and we'll have a weak spot, same thing down here at the bottom. Now, one thing that's unique about our screens is we have 3 points of locking contact, okay? Top, bottom, and up in the middle. So when I close the screen, and you can even hear the difference, I'll do it one more time. That's a way different sound just closing our screen because of this aluminum screen that's on it for protection. So when I set the lock, so now if I try to pull that top, it's only going to move the very little bit because of the play that's in there, but it's not moving, it's not loose, it's secured. So if you have a large dog or even a small dog, you have a child, a kid, whatever, the dog or the animal may get through the screen, but they're not going to get through the outer part of the screen, and then this is secured pretty well. And you can see, like I said, here's the lock for the screen on it. So we're going to open this up. This is going to reattach to the door, and then we're going to go inside.
How you doing, everybody? This is Jim Buck with Black Series Campers of Southern California out of the City of Industry. And we hope that you enjoyed the last video of a series that we just got finished watching. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to ask to make sure that you please like and subscribe to our channel so that way you can see all of the videos that are coming up in our series. So make sure that you get out there, you smash that bell up in that corner up there. And again, this is Jim Buck with Black Series Camper, so we hope you enjoyed that video. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.